Hey guys, so as promised, today I'm going to do a video on my makeup products that I will never get rid of. These are my vault products. Most of these I still use, but even when they're gone, I'll still keep the packaging. They all have a reason. So, we'll start off with this one. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Palette. That's what she looks like if you're unfamiliar. This palette, along with this palette, the Just Peachy Mattes. There's that one. Yep, still smell like peach. These two palettes were used as the makeup for my daughter's wedding when she got married. The makeup artist, my bonus daughter, she did all of the wedding party's makeup, and she used those two palettes. So they will always hold a special place in my heart. Plus they're original, and I love them anyway. So, the next product is my MAC Cinderella Palette. This palette is cool toned. It's absolutely not my colors at all. Probably those two are the only ones that I've ever worn, really, because it is a cool tone palette. But my girl bought two of them at the time, and she kept one for herself, and she gave me one. So this was actually my very first MAC palette. I wore MAC O for years. You know, when I didn't wear any makeup at all, I did wear lipstick. So MAC Cinderella in the vault. Tiny Marvels by Sydney Grace. There she is. This palette, it will definitely never go anywhere. This was in collaboration with YouTuber Mel Thompson, who unfortunately recently passed away. She was a beautiful soul. I encourage you to go watch her videos. Continue to support her family. She's a beautiful human being, and she created this palette, and I love it. This shade in particular, and you'll see why when I swatch it. There it is. I mean, that was barely touching it. It's that brown green that I adore so much. So this palette, most of the colors I won't wear, most of the mattes, but these shimmers I will. So there's the Tiny Marvels palette and the story behind that. Up next is Makeup Geek in collaboration with Manny MUA. This palette, I actually have a backup of this palette. I was fortunate enough to snag it on their website, and I really liked the formula, and so I bought another one. And we all know this is pretty old, and Makeup Geek is unfortunately closed down, or if they haven't already, they will be. But there's, again, that type of shade in this palette. Swatch some of them, and they're still just so good. So I use this one, and I have the other one put up. So there's that one. There's the story behind that one. Urban Decay Pulp Fiction. Urban Decay is definitely very edgy. That's what she looks like. It did come with I think it was an eyeliner, a black eyeliner, but that's since been gone. But these are still as soft as they were when this palette came out. I mean, you can see they still swatch excellent. And this was another one that my girl gifted me. She did a declutter of her own. She was a Sephora would rival her collection. So, but anyway, she gifted me a couple of these things. So, they definitely will never be decluttered. So, and up next is my Urban Decay and Kristen Leanne highlighter palette. And these shades look deep, but they together or even alone are just stunning. Just it works on my skin tone, and this is me. You saw taking all three shades, and I had her eyeshadow palette, and she came out with two palettes, almost a companion, and it had, I think, 5 mattes in it, transitional, very neutral shades, and then the Kaleidoscope palette. And the Kaleidoscope palette I ended up decluttering. I think I ended up with one of the kids. I gave it to one of the kids or one of my friends, and I wish that I hadn't have, because I kind of wanted to keep them all together. But this I enjoy her content. She recently just had a baby, but fantastic palette. I love it. Alrighty. Wet n Wild. This was their Moon Tears shimmer powder, loose powder highlight. And when this came out, people lost their mind. I cannot remember for the life of me what the collection was actually called, but I bought the actual entire collection when it came out. I bought it from Wet n Wild's website, and it had liquid shadows in it. It was a lot of grunge, but this highlight here is absolutely beautiful. So my daughters have borrowed this, but I did make them give it back because this one's good, and I will never part with it. Plus, I love the packaging on it. So, Lorac Daylight. This has quite a dent in it, if you can tell. I used this highlighter for years. It was my very first almost staple highlighter that I used. I got this way back when Kohl's department store had I don't know if they still do. I haven't been in one in years, but they carried the Lorac brand. So, and I wore this for years, so I have fond memories of this highlighter. Another Lorac product is my Pirates of the Caribbean blush palette. This was out of this world stunning. I mean, these colors, this shade right here, Warm Soul, I believe, Lost Soul, is a great contour shade on me in the winter. And then you've got some highlighters and some blushes in here. And I enjoyed this palette, and I try to use it as little as possible because you can't find it anywhere else. But yep, that's that. Keep that for those reasons. These two palettes right here from Urban Decay, these were the Oz palettes. This is the Theodora and this is the Glinda, and these are tones that I typically wouldn't wear, but Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I got this, and I will forever keep this. Now, this palette still has the packaging on the mirror. So that's the story with those. This palette, this is a Kylie Cosmetics I Want It All. This was part of her birthday collection, and this palette, I used it when my stepdaughter had the entire collection, and I really liked it. I really did. It was she created a couple looks on me, and I really liked it, and it was no longer available, so I found it on a resale site, and I purchased it. It was brand new in the box. It was there's the batch code, I'm assuming, and it is real, authentic, excuse me. And the lady that was selling it, she had made a description, you know, that she was having to get rid of some of her makeup collection. She had some upcoming medical bills, and at the time I was in a position that I could help, so I purchased this and some other things, and that leads into this next palette, which is this Urban Decay Urban Vices palette. It looks like that. It came with the eyeliner. I removed the eyeliner because it kept popping out when I would open this palette. But when I purchased the Kylie I Want It All palette, and I had purchased some other things, a couple of weeks later I received a package in the mail that I wasn't expecting, and I opened it up, and I mean, it was a big box, and in it was a very kind note from this particular seller, and she had included a lot of cosmetics, brand new cosmetics, and along with a very sweet note. And I kept the note. I wasn't able to keep in contact with her. I can't find her anymore on that site, but at any rate, this was one of the palettes that she had put in there, and it's just always meant something to me. When I look at it on in my vanity, my vault, it reminds me that there are good people in this world, and no good deed ever goes without. So, you know, I paid it forward to her, and she paid it forward right back, and so it's always meant a lot to me. So, enough about that. Up next is my Wet n Wild Pac-Man blush palette, and I haven't even made a dent in this, but this is limited edition. I grew up playing Pac-Man, so I'll always keep this. And Wet n Wild has great formulas. So, let's see. Let's get into some Too Faced. These are some of my original Too Faced products that I used. This one is the Milk Chocolate Light Bronzer. And as you can see, I have hit pan. I do have another one that I am using. This one I don't use anymore. Obviously, it just goes in my vault. And this one was a dual. This had the Chocolate Soleil and the Pinch My Petals blush. This, the trademark is 2012 Too Faced Cosmetics. Let's see if this one says what year. This one says 2013. So that's what the packaging looked like then. But this is a little deeper than the Milk Chocolate. This is the next shade up. And of course, that's a really, really pretty blush. And these are still pigmented, you know. They're in my collection, my blush collection. I just don't pick it up. But, you know, I started out with these things, and, you know, I'm almost 50 years old. I didn't start out in makeup when I was a teenager. I couldn't wait to wear it, and then when I was allowed to wear it, I was never comfortable with it, so I just never wore it. I would wear lipstick. Sometimes I would wear a little blush. I'd go in there and grab my mom's blush, but I was just not a makeup wearer. I didn't start really liking it until probably the last 6 or 7 years, when my girls were old enough to want to wear makeup and, you know, wanted tips and tricks. And, you know, this was before TikTok, Instagram, and you can just pull it up online. So, you know, I felt like I needed to learn so I could help them. So, at any rate, so I kept those. And the Jeffree Star collaboration with Manny MUA, I bought the set. This is in the shade Uranus, and this is really gold. So and it still swatches good. It's not hard pan yet. I had the ice cold. I had his highlighter ice cold, and it did get hard pan on that, but this one hasn't. And I do have the 2 lipsticks. I just didn't bring them out. But I will forever keep this. This was limited edition. These 2 individuals are not, I don't think they're even on friendly terms anymore. So there will never be another collaboration, I do not believe, between Jeffree Star Cosmetics and Lunar Beauty. And the next palette is the Beauty Killer by JSC. This was my first independent brand at the time purchase, and I purchased 2, one for me and one for my youngest daughter. She really liked these vibrant colors, and she was seeing it online, and I remember where I was at when I purchased these palettes. He had announced a sale, half off, and so I was able to get 2 for the price of 1. This Courtney shade is really the only shade that I ever even really play with, and it is a beautiful, beautiful transition shade. I really wish, or bronze, or even in the pans are really big, and I think this is discontinued too. So, you know, I know people don't care for Jeffree Star. I don't blame them. The way I look at it, you know, he's going to make money whether we all are buying his products or not. But the way I look at it, I'm not supporting him. I'm supporting his employees. I'm keeping them, but I'm part of keeping them employed, because, you know, if everybody boycotts it, and he has to shut down, you're not hurting him. He's going to make money. You're hurting the people that work for him. So therefore, I wholeheartedly do not stand behind any of the controversial things that he has done and said. However, I am no one's judge or jury, so therefore, it's not my place to judge him. And I will, if he comes out with things that I enjoy, I'll still use those products, because like I said, I'm supporting the people that work for him. They may not have any other choice. So, enough about that. The next, and this is probably up there with my wedding makeup, this is L'Oreal's Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade Cowboy. I have my backup. This one is in the vault, locked up, put up, sealed in a bag. I was wearing this lipstick when both of my grandchildren were born, and not because I had to make myself up to go to the hospital. My daughter went into labor on Halloween, and my grandson was born days later. She was in labor for that long of a time, and of course I never left her side, and my lips were so dry, and she couldn't have anything to eat or drink. So long story short, I needed to put something on my lips, so I happened to have this in my pocketbook, and I put it on, and because it's pretty much close to my natural color, and it stayed on through the birth of my grandson, and I mean, it stayed on. It did not transfer. It was great. And so when my granddaughter was born, she was a scheduled birth. I purposely, when we went to the hospital, I purposely put this on, so I would have been wearing the same thing for both of my grandbabies' births. So there we go. That's why this will forever stay, even if it gets old and moldy, in the vault it goes. My Chanel bronzer. This was the second formula. I'm keeping this because it cost $50, and it was all the rage. I had to have it. Someone had used it on me, the original formula. I loved it, thought it was just so great, bought it, and I barely use it. It's very overrated in my humble opinion, but I will forever keep it. And my kids always make fun of me for keeping my cosmetics in their original packaging, but I'm going to protect them. So, of course, in yesterday's video, I mentioned, so I'll kind of gloss over these, my Most Loved Mattes by Milani. Reason for that. My Tati Beauty. And my original Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. And this, I think I have mentioned this in a tips and tricks video. Yeah, tips and tricks video. My Tartist Pro to Go from Tarte. This one goes in the vault. This was also one of the first ones that I'd ever purchased. One of my first purchases from actually Sephora, and it's got that same chocolate smell. So this will forever hold a place. The Tartlet in Bloom palette. There she is. She's well loved as well. This one was a hand-me-down from my bonus daughter. She didn't use it that much. She used more of the one that had the lavender front. It's more cool toned. So, but I still reach for this. I love this palette. It is definitely a go-to. The two Natasha Denona palettes, the Love and the Retro. The Love palette, this was my very first Natasha Denona purchase. I waited till it went on sale to purchase it. It was half off when I bought it. It's a pretty palette, and I don't get a lot of use out of it. And the next one is the Natasha Denona Retro. I have gotten some use out of this one. I love the formula, but it's not, these palettes are not worth the money, in my opinion. They're beautiful, and they are great formulas, but it's not the best. I've used better. So, and the last 5 products are these 2 blushes from MAC. This one is in collab with Sharon Osbourne, and this one is Mariah Carey. And let me flip these open so you can see. I love these kinds of pinks. I used to adore Sharon Osbourne. Every time I would go get my hair done, I always wanted it, the burgundy that she had, and I used to wear my hair in the same color she wore hers in. I just always liked her personality. So and I love this shade. It doesn't scream Sharon Osbourne to me, but I like the shade. And of course, Mariah Carey. This is just a beautiful baby pink. So I definitely will always kind of hold on to this. And this Becca X. Don't drop it again, Jennifer. Don't do it. This one. And that's what, I don't want to blind you guys. That's what this one looks like. This palette, for starters, I loved Becca's formula, and I have all of my Becca products I have saved and will never declutter, just because it went out of business, or it closed down. But this was my second full price purchased. This was over, gosh, I think it was over $50 when I first bought it, and I said, I'm dumb enough to pay that much money, I'm gonna keep it. And so I did, and I really like it. It is, the packaging is really sturdy, and I do reach for it. I didn't buy it because it was Chrissy Teigen. She's great and all, but I liked the colors in it. So there was that one. And last but not least, this was my, at the time, biggest splurge from Benefit when they first started doing these cheap palettes. This one, and there was something going on with these palettes, because where it says cheap parade, this is a sticker, and I've never really peeled it off. I don't know what was going on with packaging on this. I actually purchased this direct from, walked in Ulta store to get it. So, instead, I just peeled it off now. They renamed it Cheap Parade, and it looks like it was going to be Chica Boom. Looks like it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I will always hold on to this because I do use it. Not much. I mean, it came with a nice mirror. This is a mirror. And then it came with a booklet on how to use the products. Came with a brush. That you can see I made a dent in the Hula Light. I think this is when they introduced Hula Light. And it still has a great smell. And I've made a dent in the Dandelion. And I have 3 or 4 of the next years of these palettes. So I will definitely keep this one because it is an all-in-one, but it was a big splurge, and I justified it by saying what I paid for this was the price of 2, and I got 6, 5. I think it was $60, $59, and you know, benefits kind of pricey, and you get the same amount. So it was basically, if I'd gone in the store and bought this shade and this shade, I could get all of this for what just 2 of these cost. So that's why I ended up getting this. So, and I will keep it. So I do believe that is all I pulled out. I did make the wise decision today to not film sitting down. I am sitting on the floor so nothing can fall and get broken. Luckily, all my palettes survived. Everything survived. I was so scared that they had broken, and they were, you know, the name of the video or eyeshadow palettes I would never get rid of. So I was like, oh my God, I just demolished my entire collection, you know. But thank the good Lord they were not. So anyway, till next time, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of these videos. Do you have any of these palettes? I guess it's just not going to stop. Bye, guys.